There's something I want to talk about. I wasn't going to. Why? Because look, it happened in Minneapolis. You know, in the United States of America. Renee Nicole Good. Now, I can neither confirm nor deny whether it was a false flag attack, whether it was central casting. Well, you wouldn't know with Trump. He's all over the place. He's up to some pretty weird shenanigans. I can tell you now through my studies of history, conflict history, relevant history, a lot of this is straight out of the handbook of Joseph Goebbels and Mockingbird Media. Just because he calls somebody a liar doesn't mean they're a liar. He's in a hell of a position to influence people into believing somebody's a liar just by those words. Fake news, fake news. You tell a lie enough times and people start believing it, especially when it comes out of the mouth of a president. Now, do I agree with ISIS doing in America? No, not really. They created a problem with themselves. They created their own problem, and now other people have to suffer the consequences. Sorry, America, you created this, not the people. Like somebody the other day kept trying to say to me that we invited all these problems into our country. No, we didn't. You're generalising. You're generalising the populace of the Commonwealth as if we're the government. We didn't ask for this. Just like the people of America never asked for the problems they got. Nobody asked for this shit. We're being angered. Anyone that angers you controls you. Anyone that angers you controls you. And we're being angered, and we're pretty quick to anger. Something happened 6 years ago, 5 years ago. It seemed to change everyone's perspective on how they treat people. It changed their persona, their character. I listened to a bus driver the other day, still masked after all this time, dropping F-bombs on how he's sick of everyone and he doesn't give a flying fuck anymore and he doesn't give a fuck if he runs anyone over. I'm not kidding. Well, wow. And this bloke is generally a very placid, peaceful, one of the nicest people you've ever met. Now he's just angry all the time. Police are getting around, angry all the time. Every problem's a nail. And the only conflict resolution tool they have is a hammer and cuffs. Or a gun. And pepper spray. Now they're getting tasers. I just had the police here then and they were very different with me. I think they started to realise that I'm not their usual nail. You can play whack-a-mole with me all day and hit nothing. Or fall straight into my trap of letting you hit me. Why? Because I'm trying to get a conversation out to the table for everybody else. Not for me. I don't care what happens to me. It's not about me. Not everything's about you. Not everything's about me. You see, where I have a problem is there's a guy that I watch a lot and have a lot. This is a pastor. Pastor Bear Independent. I've got a lot of respect for this man. He does a lot of good in the world. A lot of good. Rescuing rape victims and trafficked slaves, child sex slaves. He actually runs Caleb House. He's the dude, the man. And I agree with him. Where the hell did Donald Trump put 70,000 rescued sex slaves, children? Come on. He works with the FBI and all the people in that industry in America, and he said straight up, we have nowhere to put those people. There's nowhere to put them. There is 490 beds, tops, in all of the United States. So where do you put 70,000 kids? You don't. It doesn't exist. It never happened. Now, he was justifying what happened to this girl that was shot in Minneapolis. I'm not going to keep saying her name. I can't remember her name. I'm not here to disrespect her family or anyone else. Not even the officers, who I think were way out of line. Without some kind of policing, the world would be pretty damn... Well, look at the world anyway. Because the police have gone. They're so quick to anger. Violence is the answer to everything. And everyone seems to justify violence. How do you justify it? How on earth do you justify it to yourself? Here's one for you. If all these laws and police and everything are here for the preservation of life, if laws are in place, so-called laws, legislature is put in place for the preservation of life, then why is it illegal in Australia to own a chest rig? You can own a vest, you can go to Temu and buy a bulletproof vest, but it's only the vest. You don't get the plate. You're not allowed to own one. We're not allowed to own a chest plate. A tool for the preservation of life. You can't hurt anyone with it. There's nothing you can do with the chest plate other than not die. If you get shot, like, maybe. Depends on the calibre of the firearm. Depends on the grain weight and the calibre and velocity. The only thing a chest plate does is preserve life. So why aren't we allowed to have one? It's a logical, fair question. No one can seem to answer it. I've been asking this question for years and no one can answer it. Why are you coming after our guns but we're not allowed to own a chest plate if it's all about people's safety and the preservation of life? It makes no sense. Now, here's a lens that people just don't seem to have anymore. And I've written this in a comment to Bear in the most respectful way that I can think of, because I respect the man. I appreciate what he does. He does a lot of good in the world. But he's a big man. They don't call him Bear because he's a cub. He's a big boy. And he does all the things. I said, hey Bear, admittedly, in my best Popeye, a yam what a yam, and what a yam is a long way away. Tasmania. I must say, just from a different lens perspective, someone who feels vulnerable or realises they have put themselves in a bad situation will deal with it in the way the good Lord ordained. Fight or flight. Or logic. My perspective from what I saw was she went to a default setting of flight. Foresight versus hindsight, I guess. Just a perspective from a 5 foot tall point of view. We can't all be bears. And I appreciate you, brother. And somebody responded to that. And that was almost on the money, and then they just completely ruined everything they said. The sad thing is that even if she was just trying to get away from the agent on her left and neglected to see the one in front of her, it still cost her life and the sorrow of her left behind children. The rule is be proactive, aware of unintended consequences. Dumb will kill you. Sigrid 2402. That's a dumb statement. Dumb written in all capitals. So obviously you're making a dumb statement to stick up for Bear as if I was saying something negative to Bear. I wasn't. I'm just giving a different perspective. If you're offended by that, then that's a you problem. It's not a me problem because I have not offended anybody. And this just comes back to what I'm saying. Why is everybody so quick to anger and so quick to resort to violence and so quick to justify it? You cannot, I'm sorry, but there is absolutely no way you can ever morally justify what happened to that lady in Minneapolis who was shot in the car by all those federal agents. Multiple rounds from the side and from the front. What did I see? I seen a woman who had realised she'd probably got herself into a situation where she had bitten off more than she could chew. She had conflicting orders being yelled at her. Get out of the car. Get the fuck out of the car. Move on. Get the fuck out of here. There were 4 things that were being yelled at her at once. What is she supposed to do with that? A vulnerable woman. Okay, somebody said, get the fuck out of here. I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm going. All right, I'm going. And couldn't get out of there quick enough. It's called panic. That's called flight mode. There is no control over that. People have no control. You can't just switch on whatever hormones and adrenaline glands and stuff you want at will. Not everyone can be military trained. Not everyone's a Navy SEAL wannabe. Not everyone's a pub brawler or Jake the Muss. She'd obviously found herself entrapped in a situation. She was entrapped. Was it a trap that was set? I don't know. I wasn't there, but she was definitely entrapped. Oh, there's another situation. We all know the Advocate loves to print bullshit. It's a story about me and David Miller, where the judge done his mate a favour. His mate, well, birds of a feather flock together at the Red Cross and the Lions clubs and the Rotary clubs and the lodges. Maybe I'm generalising. But I offered for the Advocate to correct that story. Not in your life. They didn't even ask me if I would give them my permission to print that story about me. They've defamed me. And they looked into it and then got back to me with an email of, statute of limitations have passed and there's not much you can do about it, mate. And then just threw a bunch of bullshit excuses at me on, that was the information that the magistrate gave us on the day. No, it wasn't. That was a case that went on for 2 years, and on the day you got that information. On what day? Which day? The Advocate newspaper wasn't there on a single day that I was at court. Only on the days that David Miller was at court. They printed lies. The whole story is a lie. That's why I've got it in for you, Advocate. Same as you wanted to blow it out of proportion when I raised over $10,000 worth of donations that the people of Tasmania, of the North West Coast, donated to the firefighters in 2016. You wanted to put me on a pedestal. I didn't want that. I wouldn't let you... I had a business at the time, and I wouldn't let you advertise my business with it. I would not let you name my business. Why? Because it wasn't about me. It was about saying thank you to those people who came over here to put out fires that were being lit to save our state. People from a bloke from New Zealand brought his own helicopter, for crying out loud. People were carrying on like I was some kind of a hero. Piss off! I'm just a dude. I'm just a dude that was doing what dudes should be doing. It's pathetic. Everyone wants a hero. Nobody wants to save himself. and everyone wants to justify bad behaviour somehow. What is wrong with you? How can you justify violence? Police just jump at violence all the time. Over what? Questions. Just asking a question. I was just trying to actually get you to see that what you're doing is trespass, and you don't have a warrant, you don't have reasonable grounds to suspect anything that you're trying to make me submit to, and you lied to me. I'm questioning your lie. Now, okay, I'm choosing the option B that I actually know exists, which you had to resort to violence to before I got my option B, Officer Flynn. Which proves that there is an option B. Why is that option B on the table? Not just for religious grounds, for right to autonomy. No one can make you put anything in your mouth, up your bum, in your arm. No one can make you do it. That's your body. That's you. That belongs to you and nobody else. Everyone has the right to go about their life and travel and live in peace, unhindered and unmolested. And that's how it's written. Forcing someone to put something in their mouth is a molestation, especially without reasonable grounds to suspect. Because when questioned, did I break any road rules? No. Did I commit any traffic offences or infringements? No. Did there appear to be anything wrong with my driving? No. Did I appear at any point in time to be not in proper control of a motor vehicle? No. Well, why are you here? Where's your reasonable grounds to suspect that I'm under the influence of anything? Because you just got out of the car and lied to me. And then threatened me with violence to try and make me submit to your test. No. You can't, I'm sorry, but that's not justifiable. The behaviour of people, not just police, people in general, is not justifiable lately. How do you justify violence? You can't. We're about to go to war, for crying out loud. And look at the petty shit you're all fighting about. It's pathetic. Who'll crush his car? This bloke was speeding. Blah, blah. Really? Is that the extent of your intelligence? And the extent of your geological awareness and political awareness? I bet you can name nearly every football player, though. I'm going to meet Pauline Hanson's daughter in a few weeks. Do I like Pauline? No. Do I think she's a sellout? Hell yeah. Not the point. Do I want to get into politics? Oh God, no. I feel dirty enough going to a council meeting. I'll come home and have a shower. I feel filthy after being in there with all those lizards. For lack of a better terminology. Yeah, they're lizard people. They're slimy. They're sneaky bastards. You need got to be a cipher to read to pick apart the word salad and hyperbole and the way they operate the meetings in a way so that things go unnoticed. Well, we made you aware of it. You slipped it through there pretty slippery in a way that people thought you was talking about something else. Like putting a chairlift from Rabbit Island up to the recreation centre. I wonder what that was really about. Misdirection, I reckon. Red herring. Just check yourselves, people. Look at life through a different lens. Try to see things from the other people's perspective a bit more. Everyone's so quick to be so judgmental. Who died and made you judge, jury and executioner? Judge not lest ye be judged by himself. Judge yourself. Are you that innocent? Like hypocrites. everywhere. Oh, they're doing this and they're doing that. Hang on, we were young once, didn't we do some of that shit? Oh yeah, but no, there's no but. There's no but. We did it. Instead of trying to ruin their life and get them in trouble, perhaps maybe give them some advice. Come on. Seriously? Hypocrites. Hypocrites everywhere. Know the difference between a criminal and a millionaire? The millionaire was connected. Never had to suffer the consequences of his crimes. I know a few millionaires. Like I said, I owned a business once. Some of my customers were millionaires. They were the shrewdest bastards I ever had to deal with, and I hated it. They brought me plenty of work, but I was always chasing them for money. Look, just... It bothers me. We're going to need each other more than you could ever imagine. We're all going to need each other. We're going to have to count on people. See, you've all put yourself in a really awkward situation. This is what you don't realise. It's when you need somebody that you shit on that you realise, fuck, I'm in an awkward situation now. I've got no one that I can count on. You've burnt all your bridges. How many people are going to give you a second and third chance after you've shit all over them? After they realised that they were nothing more than a convenience to you. After they realised that you've been stealing off them. After they realise you've just been stabbing them in the back. Selling drugs to their kids or whatever. After they realise that you actually think that they're a dickhead, but you're nice to them because they're always dependable when you need a carton of milk or something. The little things. Do you think those people are going to help you? Really? Like, really? Do you think that you're going to be able to just go over, knock on their door and everything's going to be fine? Like, I need help. Because Seno's going bye-byes. We're going to have to try and fight to keep our housing department homes, to keep foreigners out of them. We're about to all become homeless if we're not careful. Immigration's about to cause a massive problem, but it's not the immigration. How on earth are we going to organise with no firearms, no chest plates to protect ourselves in a country that has something very, very significant in common with Ukraine? We're not a member of NATO. Who else isn't a member of NATO? Iran. What do we have and what does Iran have and what did Ukraine have? Rare earth minerals. Untapped oil reserves. Shitloads of it. What does Australia and Ukraine have in common? Virgin land for agriculture. All of that barren land in central Australia, there's already plans to irrigate that, to turn that into rich farmland, and it'll take no time at all. What do you think the boring company's all about? More than just fibre optics. Imagine how much water they can channel that would be filtered through the ground and come up to the surface as fresh water from the ocean. What do we have in common also with Ukraine? But we have the largest amount of 31% of the world's uranium deposits that have been untapped. They have some being mined. Olympic Dam. Did you know Olympic Dam's uranium? Got uranium in it? There are so many things at play here where we are being played against one another. We're going to be depleted of any means whatsoever of defending our country. It's not even going to be a proxy war. It's just going to be done for. Who's going to fight over it? Who's going to fight over it, you say? China and the United States. China owns Australia, pretty much. But China's not a member of AUKUS. We're AUKUS. United States military. We're joined to the United States militarily and we're joined to China economically. So a little proxy war skirmish will take place. The United States is going to capitulate because they probably already have. Our government's already capitulated to China. Can you see how, like, you're all running around chasing Pokemon? You're all playing Pokemon Go with all these issues. Things that you can't catch and can't fix. And getting angry over shit that may or may not have even happened. Resorting to violence and justifying violence over nothing. Over legislation that's not even law. And allowing laws to be broken by legislation. What a mess. So that's why I ended up making this video. Not because I want to stick my nose into Minneapolis and Renee Nicole Good. Who some say is a paid protester. Oh, well, she is. If she isn't, she isn't. But she's probably dead. It's what Bondi. What do you think Bondi was about? It's a manufactured consent through social engineering. Did anyone die? I don't know. I'm not overly convinced, but maybe someone did. I apologise for anyone that may feel affected or offended by my statement there. If I am incorrect on whether there were any fatalities or not. But it doesn't take away from the fact that it was manufactured. Am I going to get my firearms licence back? God no, I can't see that happening. I'm going to try. Of course I'm going to try. I don't just roll over and play dead. I don't go along to get along just to... This whole little thing of a cop following me home has turned into is becoming an international political issue. Thanks, God. It's exactly what we wanted, exactly what we needed. Don't ever let a good crisis go to waste.